Starship's fully reusable. It's a real ship. It's not the junk we've been throwing into space for, my whole life and before that. It's the real deal. And that is a game changer. And I can give you the differential on this. This is really what matters. And this is why there are really going to be 1 million people living and working in space by mid-century. Maybe late mid-century, but certainly around that time. There are really going to be 1 million. And to give you an example of what that means, the United States of America had exactly, give or take, I shouldn't say exactly, 3 million people on July 4, 1776. So when we're talking about 1 million people, we're talking about enough to start a country.
Yep.
Almost. And you're going to see that because the cost differential on an Atlas V that ULA throws up there for $150 million a launch. And we only know that number because Elon forced them to compete and forced transparency on pricing that they had resisted for decades. And they're shipping up a payload for $150 million. And Elon can do the same thing for $62 million and still make money on a Falcon 9. That's not even a Falcon Heavy, but that's not even where he's going, because where he's really going is that rocket in enough quantity so you have economies of scale, and in a fleet that is being reused all the time like an airplane, you could realistically, in a reasonable amount of time, get that number down from not 150 million, not 62 million, but about 700,000 for a launch. And the difference in that, at the extreme ends, the difference is exactly the same. I've done the math. As buying a ticket to fly on a 737 to Los Angeles and buying a 737 to fly one time to Los Angeles. Wow. That's why there are really going to be all these people. And I'm telling you, it's about to break loose. We are at an inflection point in history like unto 500 years ago, and so it really does matter where you're going, because I know you're going to the Space Force, and truly, if the United States does not stake out some key real estate and be able to defend it, China will own it, and they will own all of us in the process.
Well, and it's not just the ability to transfer through space, it's also the satellites and all the communications.
Absolutely.
And all the so we've got General Stephen Quast. He's a good friend of the Economic War Room. He's been in here once. He's coming in a couple of weeks.
Amazing guy.
Coming back. Amazing guy. He writes an Imprimis, which is almost 5 million readers monthly for Hillsdale College. The urgent need for a United States Space Force. I sent you the article last night. You want to have a comment?
It's a wonderful article. Everybody needs to read that, and I'm very jealous that I didn't write it first. But one of the key points that he makes is the need for the United States to have a capability to defend things that no one's even thinking about existing yet. So it's not just GPS. It's not just all the obvious things that people are beginning to have in their consciousness. Oh, we need that. If we didn't have that, that would be bad for the Army or something. Okay, right. Yeah, true, but that's so Mickey Mouse compared to what's really at stake. Because the reality that nobody's getting, I've literally, just even in the last few years, had people look at me funny and say things like, well, is there really anything in space? Hey, dummy, it's all made of the same stuff as Earth. It's all the same. If there are rare earth minerals in China, there are on asteroids that are floating nearby. We know of one asteroid in particular that I've named Erebor. Everybody who gets the reference, you win the prize. This thing is worth $1.6 trillion.
Right. First one to get to it, wealthiest person
and
on the planet.
I'm going to beat Elon for that one. And we're going to build Martin Interplanetary, and it's going to be incredible. But these things are everywhere, and the moon is there, and 1,000 other things. And there are some key geostrategic points you have to control, and you have to control access to them. In the same way that New Orleans is the most geopolitically significant spot in North America, which would be an interesting show for you to do sometime, there are key points in near-Earth space that if you don't control, you're seeding the future.